welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I'm your host, AC, and we are joined today by Robert Ricketts, the owner of ITCOMO. Good to have you back.
Thank you, AC. Good to be back as usual.
Yep. Okay, so today we're talking about mobile privacy issues.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So this is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which month of October and Halloween is probably pretty appropriate.
I would imagine so. Kind of, is it scary?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit scary?
Yeah.
Okay, so should we, it pops up on your phone all the time. Should you give location permission to apps?
Like when you're downloading a new app.
Yeah, when you're downloading the app. And it'll ask you, like, do you want it to have your location? Or what does it say? Only if you're using the app? Like, those are your options.
That's right. Yeah,
so what should we be doing?
Well, so some apps, as you can imagine, work better if they know where you are. Mm-hmm. But a lot of those apps really don't need to know exactly where you are down to the square foot.
Yeah.
I mean, like shopping apps, shopping apps would be the big one, wanting to know where you are, or weather apps. Usually a zip code or the city you're in is fine.
Sure.
The problem with granting actual location apps is the GPS coordinates can figure out where you are down to about 3 or 4 feet from where your actual location is. Hyper accurate.
Wow.
So, for instance, if you use those apps at home, then even if you don't sign into the app, even if it's just a free-to-use app, the app developers still know who you are because they see where your phone is. It's easy enough to figure out what house that's in, and once they know what house you're in, then they can figure out who you are.
That is very interesting. So It does typically give you an option to say only allow when you're using the app.
That's right. That's the one to choose.
Okay, because I try to be conscious enough to say, why would this app need to know my location all the time? Only if I'm using it.
It really doesn't.
Right.
And some of the phones are getting a little more tight about letting you use that always permission. So, but if you're offered that always permission, you don't really ever want to do that.
Okay.
Because that app can then track you 24/7. And that data is incredibly valuable to the app maker.
I see.
Yep.
Because otherwise, why would they be asking? Why would they want to track you all the time?
Right.
Okay, that makes sense to me. So we will choose then only when using the app.
And really only for an app that really needs to know where you are.
Needs it. Okay. So we got to use a little bit of our noggin to be like, now, does this app need to know where I am?
Yep.
Because sometimes it's not. It's no. But it feels like every new app now asks
That's right.
Okay. So what about, should we display sensitive information on our lock screen?
Well, that's really convenient. I mean, who doesn't like to just take a quick peek at their locked phone and go, okay, I need to call her later or whatever. The problem is things that you can see on the lock screen is a type of security breach there because other people, if your phone was stolen, they can see that lock screen as well and see what you have allowed to display on the lock screen. When you need to reset a password for your email or your bank account or some social media account, I mean, that password reset goes to a text message.
Yeah, it does.
And if you can see that, then it's much easier for somebody to kind of suss out information about you and force a password reset, because they can see
it.
That 6-digit code on a locked phone.
That is very true.
So those should be set to be disabled where it either doesn't show the message at all, or maybe just an indicator that, hey, you have got a message waiting, but not the contents.
Even for regular text messages, you just don't always want that popping right up on your phone. Sometimes you're in a meeting, and if you put your phone on the table, and then like a message pops up, like people's eyes automatically go to it because it lights up on the screen.
Yes.
So I always suggest those privacy screens too, that you put over your phone for sure. Okay. So this is a big one. Allowing apps to access contacts.
Your contacts. Yeah. A lot. You don't see that quite as often, but if an app is designed to help facilitate communications with other people, certainly social media apps and other apps, they will ask you to share your contacts. And there is just no ethical way you can allow that, period.
Okay.
You should always refuse that.
Okay.
And it may seem innocent enough, and even if that application's privacy policy swears and promises that they would never share that data, which is hard to believe in the first place.
Sure.
But imagine what you might have in your contacts regarding each of the persons that are in there. Their name, their address, their physical addresses, various email addresses, phone numbers by type, work, mobile, home.
True.
Even some notes that you might have in there that may or may not be the friendliest.
Sure. They're just for you. They should be just for you.
When that is shared with an app, that app can upload that to the app maker's server. And of course, once it's there, it's everywhere.
Okay. I get it. So my parents just went to Spain and they were going to use WhatsApp, right? And so I said, okay, I downloaded WhatsApp. But then it asked me, like, can we have access to all your apps? No. And I said, no, I just chose them specifically because I really only want to hear from them on WhatsApp anyway.
Exactly, right.
But they don't need to have all my contacts.
No, and a lot of the apps can't really segregate down to a specific contact. So you just deny it all together.
Okay.
And then for those 2 or 3 people that you need to be in WhatsApp, just put their stuff in manually.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about downloading marginal apps?
So, there are millions of apps in the app stores. You don't want to download things that only have 37 reviews, no matter how good they are.
Okay.
Stick to the major apps that have at least 500,000 reviews. They're less likely to have malware included.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And how about me just having too many apps?
Too many apps. So kind of the same difference there. If you have 850 apps on your phone, there's a good chance that some of them are kind of dodgy, lesser used apps, and you don't really know what they're doing. And check the app permissions. There's a setting for that, and you can kind of turn off all the permissions wholesale for various apps.
So what you're telling me is I need to go through and clean up all those apps.
Good phone hygiene.
Good phone hygiene. Okay, we all need good phone hygiene, Robert. Thank you so much for coming to educate us on this, because a lot of times we don't know. We're just pressing buttons.
Right.
So thank you, Robert. ITCOMO, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Welcome to your Be Well moment presented by Burrell Behavioral Health. This is a 5 senses practice focused on smell. Our sense of smell oftentimes coordinates closely to memories, and we can intentionally curate a feeling of comfort through smell. Begin choosing one of your favorite scents. Take a moment to light your favorite candle, step outside to breathe in fresh air, or maybe notice the smell of your coffee or tea. Take a deep breath as you pay attention to any thoughts, memories, and emotions that bubble up with the smell. We can practice using our senses to call in comfort and to help ground us.